Hey everyone, today we have Sen Kennedy talking to Congress about the federal audits. Real interesting, let's take a look.
The senator from Louisiana.
Thank you, Mr. President. With me this afternoon are three of my colleagues from my office, Ms. Jess Andrews, my communications director, Mr. Henson Weber, and Mr. John Lowry. As I said, there are three of my colleagues in my office. I depend on their counsel and their advice and their good judgment every day. Go ahead and put that up. I want to talk for a few minutes, Mr. President, about public broadcasting in America. But first, I want to make a brief comment about the continuing saga that our new president is doing, in my judgment, a good job of prosecuting here in Washington. I'm talking about his audits of federal government spending and all of the wasteful spending, I call it spending porn, that he is finding. And I want to make two quick points. Number one, it strikes me as breathtakingly ironic. The cynic might say cynical, that the people who are screaming so loudly about President Trump's decision to audit federal spending are the very same people under President Biden who wanted to hire 80,000 new IRS agents with guns to audit the American people. As I've said before, if it weren't for double standards, there wouldn't be any standards at all in this town.
This is why I really like Senator Sen Kennedy. He says it the way it is, and he has a good way of pointing his point, or giving his point. Clearly, we have a spending problem in the U.S. as a federal government as a whole, and Democrats have done nothing but complain about Trump trying to cut that spending, and while also trying to get, like Kennedy said, Biden wanted to hire, 80,000 IRS agents or something like that, which is ridiculous. We need to quit spending money, and we need to start saving, otherwise our country will not be around for when our children grow up.
The battle lines are drawn, Mr. President. The battle lines are drawn. Some of my colleagues have decided to support the bureaucracy and the spending porn over the American taxpayer. That's what they've done.
I feel like politics have done that for a long time now. You know, it's never been about the American people. It's always been about them and lining their pockets. Maybe it's about time we start looking at the American people.
And some of the same people, it's not just my Democratic colleagues. There are many people in Washington, D.C. that have grouped together, and they've circled the wagons, and they've decided to support the spending porn and the bureaucrats over the American taxpayer. That's their right. It's not against the law or unconstitutional to be foolish in America. But these are the same people. These are the same people who chose to support illegal immigration over the rule of law. These are the same people who have chosen to support teachers' unions over parents and kids.
Exactly. That's a great example of a problem we have here in the U.S. We have teachers unions making all the calls for what's good and what's not good for our children. That which, for a person that used to work in a school district, there is many teachers that should have been fired a long time ago because they just simply either don't do their job or they do it very bad. It's amazing how much we have decided to allow politics to win over the education of our children. It truly amazes me that we've gotten to this point. I mean, we should not be 20-something in the world for math and reading. There's no way. We've got plenty of money. We just spend it in the wrong places.
These are the same people who have chosen to support criminals over cops and victims. These are the same people who have chosen to support transgender athletes over women's sports. And these are the same people who have chosen to support Hamas over Israel. They think they're winning. Maybe in this town, they are. If you listen to a lot of the pundits up here, if you listen to a lot of the members of the Wokarati in Washington, but they're not winning in America. The justice stick is coming, and I'm very proud to be part of that effort.
I think John Kennedy had a great point here, well, many great points, as in Democrats think they're winning the American people over, but clearly we've seen that in the last election that they are not. Trump won for a reason. He even won the popular vote, which is not usually something Republicans get. So Democrats really need to look at their party and understand what is going wrong. And Republicans, we definitely have a lot of things to look at as well. But this is, I think, a good start to actually focusing on some of the Republican values that we have